Hello and welcome. This is Eagle Eye 621, and what you see behind me is your alternative or replacement for zero ticking in Java 1.16. This will work in the older versions if your server has disabled zero ticking by default. And the way that this machine works is by bone mealing the bamboo and harvesting it at an exact proper clock to ensure that we have 100% efficiency in the conversion of the bone meal to the bamboo. So let's talk a little bit about bamboo so you can understand the basic mechanics of this machine. And then I will, of course, show you how to build this, as well as building a slightly smaller version, if this is too big, to give you some numbers and some contexts. This machine you see behind me right here is capable of producing 391,500 bamboo per hour. Each slice of this machine is capable of producing 13,500 bamboo per hour. So by way of some comparison to your normal unassisted growth, that would take a single plant 32 real-life days in order to produce as much as this produces in 1 hour, or if you prefer, over 2,300 Minecraft days. Or you would need 768 bamboo in order to keep up with just, again, one slice, which is 3 full chunks of nothing but bamboo. And that one slice would power 9.375 furnaces. If you're using this as part of a furnace array for your furnace XP farm, that gives you some context right there. Now, in terms of your bamboo, and let me turn this off so it doesn't get too annoying. Bamboo will grow once normally every 204.8 seconds, which is about 17.5 times per hour, and it will grow by 1 or 2 every time you hit it with bamboo. That said, a bamboo stalk will grow up to 12 or 16 blocks, and if you can hear me clicking, once it reaches whatever height it's going to reach, the bamboo doesn't help anymore. So you need to make sure that your machine is never more than 12 blocks from the base plant to where you're trying to grow. You can see right here we do have that in a nice contained area. So let me show you the materials you're going to need to make this, and then I will show you how to build this as well as a smaller version of this so you can see how to expand it. And those materials are in this chest right here. But before I show you those, let me take one moment to ask you, if you have not already, to please scroll down a little bit and hit that subscribe button. Most of you are still not subscribed, and it really does help out the channel a lot. So now let's look at these materials, and I will explain to you, because right now it looks like a little bit of a mess. What we have in this section right here is one slice of your machine. It's actually laid out as sort of a pixel art-ish of where all of those materials actually go. And then in this corner up here, we have what you need to make your clock. And then these materials in this corner are what connects your clock to the machine. And then these items are for your water stream, and they're not in specific amounts, unlike the others, because that'll depend a lot on how big you go. So if you want to take a screenshot of that, you can, but I will also just show you what this all looks like compressed into a much smaller package in this chest right here. And this is enough for 5 slices. And that's the machine that I will show you how to build, and then it'll be very clear how to expand this as well. And you won't actually need any of the water streams, but I will show you how to make that just in case you do go longer. So let's get these into the inventory and get started. Let's find a nice little spot over here, which looks good, and come off the ground just a little bit so that we have some space. And we're going to want to start out by making ourselves a comparator clock. So we're going to go out, depending on which side we want to do, like this, so that we can put our lever right here. The comparator is taking just like that. Make sure to put that on subtract mode or this won't work. And then we can put our repeater going in the other direction and connect this whole thing with some dust. And we can already turn that on just to make sure that we do have a nice clock. And we do. and make sure that this is on its original 1 tick. Now we're going to need to connect parts of this to the dispenser and parts of this to the harvester. It is very important that this stone right here is connected to our dispenser, meaning that the output from the comparator is connected to our pistons up here, because we want to make sure that we have 100% efficiency. If your machine is otherwise working, these are filled with bone meal, and you're not getting any bamboo, almost certainly what you did was connect the wrong parts. So I'll show you. I destroyed a little bit of redstone right here. The dispensers will fire and waste your bone meal, as you can see, even though the plant can't grow anymore. So you do want to make sure you build this right, or you're just wasting a lot of bone meal. So let's turn that back off. Connect that again. Now we're going to come out in this direction right here, and we're going to put a repeater. Strictly speaking, you don't need a repeater here. You can just use redstone dust, and in the materials build I have, you have 2 extra repeaters or 2 extra dusts, so you can choose either one. The reason that you would want a repeater right there is if you're going to go large, you want to be able to extend the signal, and more importantly, when you make your little ladder connection, you want to be able to extend the signal in both directions that way. So now this is going to be facing into a block, as you can see right there. So put down a solid block, just like this. And if we're going to do 5, I'm going to go 2 out on either side. We're going to put our redstone dust across the top, just like this. And we're going to have our dispensers, just like this, facing away from the machine. Now, you don't need to use a grass block. You can use anything that bamboo will grow on, which includes regular dirt, which you will probably use. I just think the grass looks a little bit nicer. And then you're going to want to be able to put your hoppers on top. Again, this part is also not strictly needed if you're just going to fill the dispensers with bone meal directly, but this allows you to get a little bit more. And then you have your chests on top of that for more storage of bone meal. If you want, you can also connect them like this to allow you to have a double chest's worth for each hopper. Again, that's your personal choice. The amount of materials that I put in here were only for the singles, but you can make them the doubles if you want to not need to refill this as often. And then on top of your chests is where your pistons will go. And you do need to put a double layer of pistons. That's because the bamboo can grow either 1 or 2. If it grows 2 and you just break the bottom part, then what's going to happen is some of the bamboo is going to land inside this block and get lost. We want 100% efficiency of that conversion of bone meal to bamboo. And that rate is, on average, 1.5 bamboo per bone meal. Now that we have this right here, then we're also going to put our redstone dust on. You can see everything is coming together very nicely and very similar to this. We're going to want to make a very simple redstone ladder. There are a number of ways to do that, but again, the important part is that this part is connected from your comparator output, not from your repeater. So we can just go up like this and make ourselves a little staircase like so, and keep coming, and then one more and make that turn. Now if you've used a repeater on the bottom, you do have to use a repeater on top. Both of these blocks need to be the same. They can either both be redstone dust or both be repeaters. Again, make sure they are on just that 1 tick. And then we're going to drag this redstone signal up just like this. And then we are going to need to grab some bone meal. And you really want to get as much bone meal as possible. Again, for every bone meal you put in here, you will get 1.5 bamboo back. So fill those with bone meal, all of them, or as much as you have. And then if you have even more bone meal, that again, you can put them in the hopper, you can put them in the chests, so it has even more. Now we're going to grab those bamboo stalks, and plant them. Of course, one in front of each dispenser. And these do need to be dispensers. If that wasn't clear, droppers will not work. They must be dispensers. And then we can do a quick test just like this. And you can see that we have our bamboo fast growing and our pistons harvesting all of that bamboo very quickly. You will see that some land right here. Don't worry about that. We're going to fix that in our collection system, which is very important. Now, you want to choose. You can use glass. You can use any full block you want. You want to top this off just to not have any issues. You're not going to waste any bone meal again because the bone meal will either grow at 1 or 2. So it'll either grow to this block, as you can see, or it'll grow to both of these. And our clock and our harvesting time is perfectly synced up so that it will harvest and retract before the next bone meal is spit, so you don't have any wasted bone meal at all and no sacrifice in the amount of growth you're getting from that conversion. So we can take some blocks like this, and we want to just pin it in on the sides, down like this. We want to go out 1, and now we want to put a little wall just like this. But before we enclose the wall, let's put down our baseline right here. And I'm just going to pretend that we need a water stream right here. Obviously we don't, but just so you can see how the water stream part is made. So let's pen this in just like this. This block will go away, and you'll see why that's very important in 1 second. But for now, let's just use this to contain all of the water so it doesn't get too messy. So let's go up 1 more, and 1 more right there. You're going to get your water bucket, and you're going to put your water just like this. Now, of course, in the real design, you would want to go until your water stream runs out, and this block is where your water would not be because it's too far for the water to spread. But we're just going to assume that the water stops spreading right here. We're going to get our half slab and put a top half slab. Right under that half slab is where we're going to put our packed ice. Don't use regular ice. It might melt. It'll cause all kinds of other problems. Then on the part over the water, we are going to put our sign just like that, and our water bucket will sit right there. And then you continue on as you need. Now, in terms of how to extend this, what you're going to want to do, and I'm going to use some glass here again just to make sure this doesn't get too messy, but we're going to trim this down in 1 second, is you want to make sure that this block right next to your bamboo is not a full block. And that is because, as we said, there are some bamboo that drop right here, right on the edge of the block. If this block is filled, you will get some bamboo that gets stuck right here. So make sure that is not filled, and then you can give yourself a little plus sign and just have your water streams extending just like this, parallel to the bamboo plants themselves. So you do have to come in, and you can see on this bigger one, just like this, we do have the water streams, and they go curving in one and then continue to extend. If you're wondering why the water is not falling, these are barrier blocks right here, just to make it easier to see the farm itself. I replaced all the glass with these invisible barrier blocks so that the farm is more visible. And now, you do want to continue to pen this whole thing in to make sure that none of the bamboo escapes. So completely enclose that, completely enclose this, and come out one just like that, because we ended funny, to make sure that it doesn't get spilled. So now we can turn this on again, and your bamboo is produced. It falls into the water streams, and you can take this and put that wherever you want. Just do be wary of your collection rates. As I said, each one of these slices is 13,500 bamboo per hour. A hopper can only pick up 9,000 items per hour, so even one slice is more than a single hopper can handle. So that's why we needed everything to go into a water stream. And you can see that even in this stranger version, nothing is getting stuck underneath. You can see they slow down a little bit right here, but the water will pick them up and it will push them with plenty of time. Nothing is going to despawn, nothing is going to get stuck, and you can make all the bamboo you want. And unfortunately, this is what we are stuck with after they've patched the normal forced growth mechanics that were in the game for over 3 years. Our hashtag please no patch was in vain, so now we need to bone meal our bamboo as our zero ticking replacement or alternative for Java 1.16, or as I said, if you're on a server that doesn't allow for the normal zero ticking. If you found this video helpful, I would appreciate a like. Found it interesting, maybe even tell one of your friends. And for more videos like this, do be sure to subscribe. Let me also note that YouTube has given me a join button. If you're interested in supporting my work in that way, there are a couple of perks that are listed. That button is right next to the subscribe button, which of course I hope you clicked on, unless you're already a subscriber, and then don't click it again. Thanks for stopping by.